Hey, it's Andye, the rock and roll shaman. So we are heading into the month of October, a very auspicious time in my world that I get very excited about. And I wanted to talk a little bit about wishful thinking versus actual spiritual experiences or encounters with ghosts or loved ones who have crossed. So what happens is we've got a couple of times a year that the veil between the worlds really is thinner. Yeah. So October and May 1st is when this happens. October 31st, May 1st is when this happens. Um, it's fun for us because we kind of get to see it. But my belief always is that what we believe is what we create. So if we believe that we are getting messages from loved ones and it brings us comfort, then holy heck, that's what's happening. And if you are a person who's skeptical and would rather stay skeptical, then you're going to have a world that confirms that for you as well. So I wanted to talk about some of the cooler stories from loved ones who have crossed over, who have gotten messages to us this way. I want to not only validate that these things are happening, but I want to share with you some of them firsthand that I've heard. So one thing that you may have experienced is hearing a song on the radio at exactly the right time that seems to be affirming or telling you something that you needed to hear. And I just read about this in the AAA magazine, AAA that helps your car. There was a woman in there who was telling a story about being locked out of her car. She got back into the car, and the song playing on the radio was It's a Miracle. Yes, it is. That's one way that spirit can come through and do these things. So if you've had that happen in your own world, pay attention, because it's fun. And it really is a way that spirit, angels, loved ones are able to get messages to us. Another thing that you may have heard about or experienced is lights going on and off. Oh, yeah. Loved ones on the other side are really easily able to manipulate technology. Not manipulate in a bad way, but they're able to get through into technology to let us know something. It's kind of cool. So they do this. You've heard about it. I've experienced it personally, and I'm guessing that a lot of you have as well. One of the more fun stories that I heard recently was from a friend who, actually a client who had lost a loved one. Her husband had died a number of years ago. She had gone to a John Edward event hoping to get some messages, hoping to get some affirmation. She didn't, and came home, kind of downtrodden, kind of disappointed that her husband didn't come through. But what did happen is when she got home, his picture, which is normally up on the mantle in her house, was sitting on the floor of the living room. Literally sitting, just the picture had moved itself. So you want to say that's coincidence, you want to say that was him, I say that it's him. Another client recently was telling me about her also husband who had passed, and she has music boxes all over her house. And since he's passed a year ago, these music boxes inevitably will start going on and off by themselves. I kind of love that. It's just fun, and it's ways that they could be whimsical, and it's ways that they can tell us that they're paying attention, they're thinking about us, and they love us without it being anything scary. Because I can tell you, if one of my loved ones was to show up and stand in front of me, I'd probably be a little freaked out. But playing a music box, which meant a lot to her, which was something incredibly personal, that's an easier way to get through. The last one that I want to share is actually a very personal one for me. My grandma, as you may know, passed this summer, and I was understandably pretty upset about it. I love my grandma. She had a great life. Don't get me wrong, but I was sad. I miss my grandma. She and I are working on new relationships now, but at the time, I think it was probably about 3 days after she had passed, and I was at the gym working out, and underneath the recumbent bike that I was on, directly underneath my foot, was a little token, and it had an angel on it, and angels were very special to my grandma, and I knew that it was her way of saying hi. So I'll actually put up the picture on the blog because I think it's very cool. So could you go to the place of saying, oh, it just happened to be there at the right time? Sure. But it was there at the time that I needed it to be there. So I ask you to also pay attention to the things in your life that might come at exactly the time that you need it. These are ways that spirit can fill us with hope, can make us remember that there's more out there than what we see in the visible world. And it's ways that just fill us. So send me your stories too. What's going on for you guys? You can always watch here on rockandrollshaman.com and learn more. Or, contact me directly. Tell me your stories. I love to hear them. Hope you guys are having a great week.